Hey y'all, welcome back to Skate 2. I'm Insetic. With me again is Blank Tester.
Hey kids, how's it going?
And Turo.
Howdy.
And I'm a lady.
Yay!
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So again, you can, play as a female skater with...
Woo! I'm glad they invented
yeah.
women for this
Yeah.
game.
Uh-huh. It was
Also,
a
you
dark
get an
time in
achievement
San
for it.
Vanalona. Yeah, you do. If you, change your
Yeah,
gender.
it's just
you
straight
get
up
an
called
Really?
Gender Bender.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
think it's
So
like
this video is going to be about continuing on with the contests path. So like the San Vanalona Street contest pack, 3 street contests, and then San Vanalona, I think they call it Vert, but it's, the transition contests. Continuing on with that, it's, same as normal.
Right on.
Yeah.
Interesting, actually, that the first one, though, is up at this section. I didn't actually check, if you don't do the death races and unlock this section, you probably still can play this one, but do you, unlock this upper area then after this?
No. You unlock the upper area through the death races, but they will let you play this.
Right. Okay, that's kind of weird, then, that it's if you really don't care about the death races at all, it's wait, where was
just see
that,
the
where was
spot,
that
yeah.
place that I did that one contest at?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Get out of the... Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
They're just having a good time up here.
Yeah, girls rule, boys rule.
Yeah, that's why he
Yeah.
fell over.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He was drooling and then he fell over.
He drooled so hard that his wheel slipped on it.
Yeah. Gross.
Also, now I know why this video was blocked by SME.
Because of this music?
Yeah, from Motorhead.
Oh, this is Motorhead, isn't it?
It sure is.
Yeah. I have it turned way down.
Motorhead's Eat the Rich.
All right, okay. Yeah.
Motorhead.
Never mind. My inflection sounded like I was going to continue that, and then I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, Motorhead. Oh, yeah.
Man, every time I think of Motorhead, I think about the lead singer.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. And
Yeah.
I remember when I
bless his
heard
soul.
that he died, it was so fucking crazy to me because I heard it on NPR, and it was from the BBC. They were rebroadcasting on NPR, and it was the middle of the night, and the BBC guy was like, this person died, and he was the lead singer of this band known for this and this and this. And then, he died quietly in his home. Which is, kind of weird, don't you think? He just kind of went off for, 15 seconds about, how weird it was that this guy had a peaceful death. And I'm like, don't say that, he just died!
Dude.
What the fuck are you doing?
What's the deal with people
Yeah.
dying peacefully?
Yeah,
When I die, I want to crash and burn.
yeah, okay, yeah, he was a metalhead. He made some hardcore stuff. He was also, he was an artist, right?
Yeah.
So, are you surprised, I don't know, Van Gogh didn't chop his body into bits when he died? Or die in a big vat of paint?
Yeah, maybe.
What is an
maybe
appropriate death?
Levy was
fair,
part
I
of
would like to-
hardcore stuff back in the 80s or whatever, but, he wasn't Gigi Allen.
Yeah, at the end of his life, he was just an old man.
Yeah.
He wasn't G.G. Allen 6541.
Yeah. Gee, wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Allen is the opposite of Gigi Allen.
Right.
Gigi Allen was insane.
I like
Right.
how I made a reference to your real life friend and you had to think about
Think
it.
about
for
it?
a second.
Well, no, he
Yeah.
was thinking about it spelled wrong.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I mean,
He was thinking about it spelled
always
like
on
G.G.
these-
Allen.
Alan's always on these videos with us, so
That's
Yeah.
Alan, what did you think about that? Oh, you're busy? Okay. Yeah, he's busy. He can't come to the microphone.
It's so weird. I find it annoying when he gets on the video, but then he just shakes his head when we ask him questions.
Right.
Because we're all
Yeah,
actually
I'm
recording
talking
this in the
about
same
you.
room. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of
Just
fucked up
shaking
how, we're all recording this in the same room, this whole
Yeah.
time. And, I've been here for, almost, 3 years now, and he still hasn't said a word to me.
Not one word.
He's
yeah,
very
nope.
selective. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I just don't pass his vibe test.
I had to graduate high school for him to even look me in the eye. It was weird.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Damn.
It was a lot of looking at feet during our friendship.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the ideal,
That is the
Way
ideal
to be a
friendship.
friend.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
you have to, graduate from,
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I want all my friends to be looking at my feet all the time.
just your wife.
No. I don't want her looking at my feet either.
I was gonna say, like, it goes from, like, chest, then to eyes, then to feet.
Yeah.
Like in his body construction?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, just
No,
below
like,
the
like-
chest
like-
is the
like-
eyes, and just below that's the feet? That's
Yep,
horrible.
Yeah.
I got 3 sections.
Oh
like
my
a bug,
god, how
and
did you
it's
manage to
fucking
survive
horrible.
this long?
Very carefully. I don't know, man. I don't even know how I'm talking to you.
The chest bone is connected to the
Eye bone.
Yeah.
How would you guys feel about having eye bones?
I mean, we have orbital bones.
No, I mean like the eyeball itself has some kind of like structural webbing bone.
I mean, that's what the orbital bone is.
That's
No,
that's
I mean
that's
inside
not
the
good to me,
eyeball.
bro.
No, exactly. That's what the
The
orbital,
orbital bone
is.
is not inside your eyeball.
I don't know.
Not
I don't
good
know
to me,
where
bro.
Trust me, I've broken a few.
you've broken a few orbital eye bones.
Yeah, actually.
That sounds dangerous.
That's how I got kicked out of the first high school I went to. I punched a guy in the face and I broke his orbital. Oh wow, you just landed back on your board. That was nice.
Yeah, sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
Sometimes you punch a guy and just land back on your board.
Yeah.
See,
you
I
skate-
never learned what happened to the guy that I punched in the face in middle school, I guess.
I caught up with the guy I punched. Well, the reason I got kicked out was because I punched him in the face, right? Like, I shouldn't have punched him in the face. But, also, I was going to a private school, and his dad was, like, the head of he was, like, the biggest donor of the school, and he, like, owned whatever, right? So, like, there was no way I was not getting severely reprimanded, if not kicked out. So, you know, I got kicked out, and then, like, years later, I saw him again at, like, a Halloween party. And his face is still, to this day, slightly tinted blue on that side.
Wow.
Yeah. But he and I are cool.
Yeah.
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 You should
I mean,
get
that
him
was...
on one of these videos.
No, I don't know him, really at all. I just saw him at the party. But he was like, hey, man, I was being a jerk. You shouldn't have punched me, but I shouldn't have, you know, whatever. And, we're even Steven Seagal. And I was like, cool.
Even Steven Seagal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even Steven Seagal.
Man, that reminds me of the fucking shit movie we watched a few weeks ago.
Which was it a Seagal movie?
The Kung Fu movie that didn't have Steven Seagal in it.
Well, yeah, no, Steven Seagal has never done Kung Fu in his life. He's never done any actual martial art, ever. Now, granted, people might say he has. They might be like, he's really big into Aikido, and I would say, have you seen him? Have you seen him do Aikido?
Yeah.
I don't think what I'm seeing is him doing Aikido.
I loved when, like, you and I had that run of watching Steven Seagal movies as, like, bad movie night. And, well, one, of course, what was it, a good man?
A Good
or whatever
Man,
that
yeah.
led to all those quotes. But then, two, there was that other movie. This was after we had noticed the trend of Steven Seagal never loses fights, much less even gets hit during fights.
Right, of course.
And then we watched that one movie that was kind of sci-fi, I don't remember the name, where, like, someone fought Steven Seagal's character and actually did beat him in a fight.
beat him.
But then it turned out that the Steven Seagal they were facing was a clone of Steven Seagal's actual character, who then came in and whooped the shit out of the guy without getting hit once.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And I was
Like,
like,
the one
oh my
time-
god, Steven Seagal, you, like, invented or came up with a way to have your character, like, lose, but not actually lose.
Yeah, like he's such a fragile ego, apparently, that he can't be in a movie without eventually being the one to win the thing. Even though he was the bad guy in that movie. The good guy lost at the end of the movie because, like, he just stepped out of, like, the closet and he was like, you actually killed my clone.
Yeah, the good guy had, like, a fight with the clone, and, like, they...
Was it a clone or was it his brother or something?
No, it was a clone.
It was
I
a
do
clone?
remember
Okay.
that.
Yeah,
yeah,
so it's
and,
like-
the good guy
was
won
actually
the
my
fight and killed the Steven Seagal clone.
And he's,
we
like,
were like,
panting
holy
and he's holding a
shit.
sword. And we're like, oh my god, somebody actually beat Steven... Oh, never mind.
And then, yeah, no, like, just like you described, Steven Seagal walks out of the fucking shadows and pretty much says, that wasn't me, that was my clone. And
wasn't
then
me.
destroys
You
the
didn't kill me.
good guy again without getting hit.
You thought
that
you
would
could
get
beat
you
me that
banned from
easily?
most RP forums.
Yeah. I mean, he basically did the
Teleports behind
teleports behind
you.
you, yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh my move.
Like,
Oh, it's
decapitates
Yeah.
you. Asterisk dodges it.
Yeah.
That's all he did!
That's pretty
Actually,
much
that
what
was
he actually did.
that was my clone. Walks out of the
Yeah.
shadows.
Like, what if what happened was they had the script and Steven Seagal did not read the script. He did not know he was supposed to do. So they filmed it, and then he was like, guys, what if we, like, just did it this way instead? Just roll the camera. I'll just try something, and you don't have to do it if you don't want. And then in the editing room, he entered when they were editing the scene. It was like, okay, now put this part in. Yeah.
Yeah, like,
Is
I
that
was
how he
getting worried
talks?
because it sounded like you were saying that Steven Seagal might have allowed other people to,
creative
take control over the movie.
God, no.
Instead, like, they get to the scene and Steven Seagal hasn't actually read the script, and only there he sees that he dies, and it's like,
Dude, what
guys,
the
we
fuck?
have to change this right now, or something like that.
I'm afraid we can't be doing this.
I mean, it doesn't sound so dopey. He talks with this weird hoarse whisper thing, and he does. I think he thinks it sounds cool.
I have a calculator and my ass is fat.
You're
Yeah.
you're a bad girl, and I'm a bad man. But, like, not the same way. Like,
Yeah.
you're bad in, like, one way, but I'm bad in a different way.
You're like the good kind of bad.
Kind of good
and
kind
I'm
of
like,
bad, and I'm the bad kind of...
I'm the bad.
Oh, man, I'm really bad at this. That's why I'm a bad man.
yeah, let me start over. Let me try this again. See, I'm bad, but
bad,
you're
you
also
know.
bad, but a
'Cause
different way.
A good
and I'm
man
bad
was...
for you.
A
Such
Good Man was one of, like, a loose trilogy of movies, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
we watched all three, and I think A
We
Good
started
Man
with A
was
Good
the
Man.
funniest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was I think that's like the third in the trilogy or something, and it's like the most deranged of them.
I think that's
You're
the
gonna
one
have to show
where,
me
like...
these sometime because
I think that's the one also where it's like, I will snatch every motherfucker birthday.
It might be that one, yeah.
But yeah, like, that was
That's
the
like
wildest.
Connor did not missay that line. That is literally word for
Snatch
word
a
what he says.
motherfucker
I will
He's
snatch
holding a
every
gun to
motherfucker
someone and he says,
birthday.
I will snatch every motherfucker birthday. And someone on Reddit during an AMA asked him what that line means. And his explanation was that, I think he was like a volunteer cop or something. He said that it was a thing that people say on the streets to mean that they'll kill you because they're gonna, like, or they're gonna kill a bunch of people because they're gonna snatch their birthdays. Means that they're gonna kill.
Yeah.
But, like, no one anywhere has ever heard this slang. I've met loads of people and asked them about it, and no one I've ever spoken to, I can't find any evidence on the internet that anyone other than Steven Seagal has ever said that sentence.
now I'm just thinking of you like going up on the street and like frantically asking.
Yeah, like
people,
Billy on the
"You,
street.
You
You're like-
have you ever heard this before?
Yeah.
Wow.
But, like, I don't know who. I'm pretty sure Steven Seagal just made that up, and then, like,
Yeah.
he's the kind of dummy who would make it up and then think everybody will believe it.
You think that was after Steven Seagal had that show where, yeah, he was like a cop or something?
Yeah, he was a volunteer cop.
Well, yeah, maybe Steven Seagal is doing this like, we
got
do it,
deputized.
where we've mentioned, anything we bring up in these videos, happened to us in the last week or so. Steven Seagal just goes and does various career
Yeah, maybe-
paths and then incorporates them or some stupid shit he heard or whatever into his
Yeah.
movies.
I don't know. He was actually deputized. Wow, you fall for it every time.
Every fucking time.
Every time. You really, like, we should fucking catch up. Like, we are all on board with what's going on. You still,
Like, come on.
you changed genders, but you didn't get any smarter.
Right.
No.
I mean, like, any one of the skaters I'm going up against could, like, do got your nose. And I think they
And you
actually
demand they give it back.
Yeah.
Dude, what the fuck? Give it back. What the fuck? I can't smell without that. I can't smell you later.
Yeah. I can't smell you later.
What you doing?
What you doing?
What's he holding?
A megaphone.
A bullhorn.
Okay.
But then
Is that like a
I
regional
happened to
thing?
capture this woman in like 5 FPS.
Oh.
Ooh.
That
Trying to hold
coffee
the
has
cup.
so much caffeine. It's jittery.
Yeah, she's telepathically holding that cup as well. It was great. I just genuinely just sat there like, what the fuck
What the
am I
fuck
seeing?
am I seeing?
Yeah.
Like, imagine coffee that's so caffeinated that it's jittering in your hand. You're like, oh my god, if I drink this, I don't think I'll be well.
Imagine
think
a
I'm gonna
coffee
die.
so caffeinated that when you drink it, your IRL frame rate decreases.
Yeah, your eyes can't register motion anymore. You see choppy images.
Yeah.
God.
And
That's
other
a hell of a
people
drug.
see- Yeah.
I think I've probably told the story on the channel before. Connor, do you remember for senior year we had to do like, or maybe I don't know if it was just my English teacher senior year of high school. We had to do like a paper on like a year-long paper. We were supposed to research over the course of a year, read some books, and then do like a literary analysis of it. What was that called? I don't remember. Capstone or something, right?
Yeah, probably capstone.
yeah,
that sounds like a capstone
Right.
project.
Yeah, so like we had to do something like that, and so like I got James Joyce, and she only gave me James Joyce because she was like, okay, well, I think having spent some time with you, I think you're well read enough and smart enough. You could probably do this. It's gonna be tough though. James Joyce is a tough author, and I was like, okay, yeah. And then I didn't read the books at all until like 2 days before the paper was due.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be like 7 or 8 pages long, and like put in a binder, and like I was supposed to, and so like the night that before the paper was due, I was writing it. And I was, to prepare for that, I drank 3 Monster BFCs, which is too much. Too much because after I got to school, my heart was just fluttering in my chest. I could feel it in an uncomfortable way, just vibrating in my chest. And when I got home, I was very, very sick.
Yeah.
I still got a B on that paper, even though I read it later, and it was totally incoherent after the second paragraph. Like,
Damn.
genuinely, so many sentences that went absolutely nowhere. And she was like, oh, this kid is just, like, insane. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Like,
I
I
mean, I
thought
don't
he
wanna-
was smart, but he was just faking it. Like, he's really nuts. If I don't give him a good grade on this, he might hurt somebody. This is deranged.
Or I thought just like the standard of people's writing was, that low. I mean, as we've seen on the Steel Donut Collective,
That's
which
Yeah.
send
Rest in
out
peace.
rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. The average person can barely construct a sentence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
apparently.
Hold on, what was the story that you guys released yesterday? I was just taking screenshots.
Turned bad?
Turned bad, yes. I was just fucking screenshotting, like, just stories from that.
Like
I
every
just-
single chapter, it's like the plot completely changed.
I
Yeah.
edited that video. I still have no idea why Alvin's evil. No clue at all.
Yeah.
I like how they set it up like it's gonna be some big mystery, and then they give up the ghost, like, literally the second
Within,
paragraph.
within paragraphs, within sentences, it's just like a mysterious figure walked in. It was Alvin.
If you haven't watched, let me just read one singular sentence for
yeah.
all the people who have never who haven't watched this.
This is a great time to jump in on the Steel Donut because we're not going to release more.
Yeah, we're done after this month.
That's
so
a
go
great
to
time to
Steel Donut
catch up.
Collective, watch Chip 3.
Now tell me, what did you do to my G-Nate? Look at her, she never been in this look before. I fired.
I fired.
I fired.
It's so crazy to me that they use I fired like I said. They want to use different verbs, so they use fired instead of like fired off or like
fired. Because I think the only thing I've ever heard fired be used as like a term for like communicating
Speaking,
is
yeah.
fired back.
yeah,
like-
exactly right.
Like
I'd
you're in a
be like,
heated
okay,
exchange
cool.
already, and you're like retorting to someone.
And like in the story, that would work if you just said it fired back, because like they are generally retorting when they say that. But what's weird is like about half the time when they use the word fired that way, the person's holding a gun. They're like pointing it at someone, so it's like,
Yeah,
get the hell out of here! I fired.
at gunpoint.
Yeah,
And also, like with that story specifically, yeah, it's a train wreck, barely followable, but somehow Alvin always has these incredible lines.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I can't remember any of them, but it's
By
just
the way,
like
in case
a
you
level
could-
of I don't care and I don't give a shit that is really
In
kind of
case you're
funny.
still in the dark over this, to anyone who's watching and hasn't watched the Steel Gun, we're talking about Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Right.
Yeah, this is
This
still
is
Alvin Seville, the chipmunk.
Well, like Alvin Scott, actually.
Alvin Scott, actually.
Minor spoilers.
And this might be a very strange avenue to discuss the Chipmunks fandom at, but I was thinking about, because part of the question people have asked is why Chipmunks? Why is the Chipmunk section
Why did
so
we pick
crazy?
chipmunks? Why are they so weird?
And, you think about it, and it's like everyone in the Chipmunk section has to have their own OC Chipmunks.
Yeah.
But it's really weird that that's the case, because, think like Sonic. Okay, Sonic, everyone has their OCs or whatever, but the games themselves in Sonic, established that there's a, bunch of different animals that can be, sentient and
There's
such,
a wider world, yeah.
There's a wider world, the hedgehogs, the games
Foxes,
themselves
no,
introduce more of those.
echidnas.
Yeah. But out of the Chipmunks, it's literally only the 6 Chipmunks and Chipettes.
Yeah.
There
Yeah,
have
that's true.
never been other ones, but everyone still wants to make their own OC Chipmunks and make so many of them.
Yeah.
But also in
What is
half
the
of the
precedent?
the stories that don't do that, it's ambiguous if the main characters themselves are chipmunks or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You literally have to if they don't explicitly tell you, you have to play a game of all right, so this thing is definitely meant for a character that is the size of a chipmunk, but they're also driving a normal human-sized car on a normal human-sized road. So
My favorite thing about that, though, is that, you can have a model in your mind of, okay, they're humans, they're not chipmunks at all, they just have the names. And then Dave shows up. And I wonder, at that point, that throws a wrench into my model of reality every single time. Because, Dave is explicitly always a human. Right?
Yeah.
There's never a story where Dave is a
oh
chipmunk.
my god,
and
there
they're
should be
humans.
a story where Dave is a chipmunk.
But no, I
mean,
want a story where they're all humans and Dave is some kind of superhuman.
Dave is,
another
12
story
feet tall.
another story we covered, the one where they go to that abandoned asylum in the
my God.
Oklahoma desert.
By the way, I was corrected in the comments. There is an Oklahoma desert. It's just not very big. It's a state park.
The author didn't.
They're thinking
Yeah, the author didn't
fucking
know, I didn't know.
Cowboys in the
There,
Wild
they
West.
specifically say the Chipmunks are based on this TV show version of them. In which case, they're all taller than normal chipmunks, but still only small children. And then the story starts with Alvin driving
a
Yeah.
Jeep.
a car. Yeah, a Jeep. So immediately you're like, what the fuck?
It's is he in a booster seat?
I mean, what real shit? Why does it matter what version of the Chipmunks it is?
It's
It's
splintered
not like they
fandom.
sing to the monsters. It's not like they shoot them. They just die.
I would say in that one they die.
Yeah,
would
that one
be
they
sad.
die.
I would say that knowing whether the chipmunks are the size of human children or the size of literal chipmunks is actually big enough that you do need to define it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess.
Especially then if again, back to turned bad, Alvin escapes in a fucking fighter jet or something. From his evil lair. And
the
you're
thing
just
is-
what is going on?
The thing is, it should be small potatoes, but every time it's not. There's
Yeah, that's
something that makes
Like-
you actually it makes you actively
that's
think
the
about it.
universal thing. People who write for the Chipmunks fandom never think of the boundaries that would be created by having the characters be what they actually are. Anything goes in a Chipmunk story for some
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I was watching Leo Vader, is another YouTuber. He has a video specifically about why, can the humans in the movie Stuart Little understand the cat? Because they have a speaking son who's a mouse, and there's a speaking cat, lots of speaking cats in the movie, and they all hate mice, and the humans just never respond to the cat, even though its mouth is moving on screen, and it's saying English words that Stuart is responding to. So, that it's a very good video, by the way. You should totally watch it. Leo Vader is great. You should subscribe. But what I was thinking about was we never really looked for any Alvin and the Chipmunks Stuart Little crossovers, and
Yeah,
I'd be curious
I
to
was
see.
just thinking, like,
I'd be curious to see what's there, because like the rules in those two universes are very different, but they occupy very similar genres, similar sort of plot lines, right? And, like,
Stuart Little, OC Stephen Little.
Yeah, part of me, my blood ran cold. I was like, oh my god, did we miss a fandom? Is the Stuart Little fandom going to be as wild?
it might be.
I'm gonna have to
do
do some research.
I see what you mean, that they're like very similar kind of setups and such.
Yeah,
but
right?
I feel like Stuart
Humans
Little is
adopting
a much
an
smaller
animal.
franchise, you know.
Yeah, I think the thing is, like, Stuart Little has not had nearly the success Alvin and the Chipmunks has had, and it isn't nearly as it's not as versatile, because Alvin and the Chipmunks can also make music
Yeah.
and Stuart can't really do that.
Ting Tang Walla Walla Bing Bang.
Yeah. Oh God.
Did the Chipmunks ever do their own version of that song?
Yeah.
Probably.
I'm not surprised
They
because that it
famously have done that. If you start typing
Oh.
Alvin and the Chipmunks, it's one of the first things that comes up.
because that was like an original Ron Bagdasarian. I forget his first name.
Yeah, Ross Bagdasarian.
Ross. Swing and a miss. But yeah, that was his song, like before the
Yeah.
Chipmunks, I think.
Yeah, they did their version. They've done a bunch of versions. I believe they performed it in one of the movies, probably the
Live-
first one. That was
live in
awesome.
concert.
You
That's
know,
right. I just
It's
made a
a
comment
fan.
about what happened on screen.
You know, I never really thought, like, oh, did the guy who invented the whole Chipmunks thing, like, do anything else with a music career or such beforehand?
Yeah,
So,
no, he's the guy
I
who
never
wrote Witch
actually
Doctor.
realized.
Yeah,
Huh.
he's
I didn't
come up
know.
in my music history class a few times, mostly because of me bringing up the Chipmunks.
You bring up the Chipmunks in music history. They must think you're insane.
Yeah,
I think it was only like
that's
once.
something to stay away
I
from.
think it was like twice, and to be fair, it is a modern American music history class.
And
So-
you wonder why people have trouble being friends with you.
When did I say that?
This is what you did a bad. You did a bad by bringing up the Chipmunks in class.
Look, I brought
People
up
were like, "Oh, they seemed cool." Until then,
Just don't write your term paper about the Chipmunks or something.
Oh my
you know?
God, no! I've already written my term paper.
A
Don't
chipmunk
worry.
life. How
You know-
my experience to Alvin and the Chipmunks
you know
has
what?
led me down the path I currently am taking.
One of our two, we had to do a paper and we had to do a project. We're still doing the project right now, but our paper had to be on a live performance. Which, now that I've already turned that in, it was due on the 10th. But now that I'm thinking about it, I should have maybe just done like a review of like an Alvin and the Chipmunks movie. That probably wouldn't have counted, but it would have been funny.
you know what? If I ever go back to school, and I take a class where I have to write papers, I want to try to cram Alvin and the Chipmunks into as many papers as I can, just so the teacher reading them can be like, circle Alvin. Who's Alvin in the first paper? And then by the end, they're like, God damn it.
He wrote another fucking paper about Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Yeah, like you want to cite literary characters who demonstrate this theme.
It's the
Yo,
5
there she
FPS
is.
woman.
Oh
She's
shit!
back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's done with her coffee.
Yeah, she finished it.
The coffee, like,
She'll return to 30 or 60 FPS shortly.
Yeah, hopefully.
Before we split off of this Chipmunks discussion, I just of course do need to bring up Chipmunks at 16 speed Sludge
Yeah,
Fest.
yes.
You know, that's an incredible album.
little.
That's the real shit.
I think about that sometimes. You know,
You
not
I
only
still
does
think you
it
should
kind of
use
go
that.
hard in like a doobie sort of way,
Yeah.
but like
I learned that there was a
actually hearing like the actual vocal tracks is pretty interesting. You know, like
because
and take some songs I know I keep interrupting you. Take some songs I never listened to otherwise, and it's kind of like, oh, this is kind of interesting. Like,
Whoa.
what was it, Diamond Dolls or something? We're the ones that do not. Like hearing the actual pitches they actually, you know, saying that is pretty cool.
it's funny because like not to rip on these guys, of course, but like sometimes they just don't sing very good. Like if you. This is also like a very personal story, but one of the Chipmunks at 16-speed songs that I found was of "You May Be Right" by Billy Joel, which I think was the first song I ever heard, like in my life. So yeah, that was a very special song to me. But also like the guy just doesn't sing very good.
I was thinking about this because we've had to cover Chipmunk songs
Yeah.
on the Steel Donut. I've been thinking about, like, you know, if we had in that first Chipmunk decided to chipmunk our voices for the song as we intended initially, and we had done it properly, we would probably end up with more listenable covers. Because, like, when you pitch shift it that much, it actually kind of erases the errors in singing.
Yeah, because you can barely tell anymore. The margins.
You can
just
barely,
fucking change.
your brain can barely process that you're hearing
like a human being.
a human being.
As a matter of fact, you almost sound more so like a chipmunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although
well,
actually,
that
I'm
was,
beginning to think
That's a
chipmunks
ship
sound
that
like
has sailed 8
That-
years ago.
Yeah, that was like 8 years. We were 8 years younger and
Old.
dumber versions of ourselves.
We were 8
and we
years
thought
old.
it would be funny to use the stupid voices we were doing.
I
we-
also hope you know that.
We really considered it, though. Like, holy
Yeah.
shit, we considered it.
I hope
it
you
turned
know
out
that
to be too much work.
in my own friend group, I've invited some of my friends to your server, but like I've showed this on the video, but I'm not afraid. Just that one phrase has become like both a meme and synonymous with Alvin and the Chipmunks.
I mean, that's true for us, too. I mean, like,
Yeah.
when we see, anytime we saw it in any story after that,
Yeah.
just like, I'm not afraid, like, somebody could be saying it in, in a totally unrelated way, and, like, in an unrelated context, and, like, I don't even think of Eminem, I think of our version of the song.
I think
like, etched
that
into your
was
brain.
the one. I mean, rapping is a lot,
Yeah.
different than actually having to try to sing on pitch or whatever.
That's true.
But then two, well, the whole situation that not afraid came from.
Oh, yeah.
But
it's
then,
very memorable.
like them also changing the lyrics up.
Yeah.
So we actually had to like go through and do the
everyone
actual
from all
lyrics,
the bullies
you know?
in this school.
Yeah. And protect everyone from the bullies in this school. And
It's just fucking crazy, too.
Yeah.
It's like...
it's like my version of Cameo, whatever. Call me up and be like, hey, can you do Not Afraid in Simon's voice, for my friend or whatever? And I'll just be like, I'm not afraid. And you'll be like, thank
It
you.
doesn't even
War,
sound like Simon.
Vietnam flashbacks.
Yeah. Can I give you like $5 to like wish my friend happy birthday in your Simon impression that doesn't even sound like Simon?
Yeah, it doesn't sound...
I mean,
none
we're
of us
not trying
sound
to do
anything
impressions.
like... Yeah,
Yeah.
none of us sound anything like the original. Just like with My Little Pony, too.
Last time we checked, who was the guy who played Theodore in the movies?
That was Jesse McCartney.
Yeah, Jesse McCartney
Jesus Christ.
is on Cameo.
He's the only monk on Cameo.
Yeah,
Wow.
Or Et.
yeah. We
Monks or
considered
Ets.
getting him to do a cameo thing about, Chipmunk, but
Yeah.
I'll ask you
Instead we
this. I'll ask you this without mentioning who, but did you get that cameo for the STC, Bob?
Nah, we weren't able to. I did see, actually, on the, I went back to the Cameo app, and he did see the request, but he saw it too late. Oh. Yeah. It would have been great, though. And we're still thinking about maybe, I don't think it'll work with, the final video, maybe get a cameo of him, but I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, it's a great idea. I mean, since we're not doing it, probably. Connor, can we just say that we're not doing
sure.
it? Okay, yeah, so we were hoping to get Shaggy 2 Dope of Insane Clown Posse.
to do part of the announcement for Chipmunk.
Yeah, to just announce the schedule and stuff. And like when I was looking at Shaggy 2 Dope's cameo, he had just done a cameo that was supposed to be like a birthday wish for somebody, and like he said like happy birthday from your friend, blah blah blah. This is me, Shaggy 2 Dope, the lead singer of Boston. And then he just started making shit up about being the lead singer of Boston. Unprompted. It was not in the prompt. He just started bullshitting about being the lead singer of Boston. And then, like, at the end, he added, like, oh, and I'm also one of the 2 guys in ICP.
Yeah. Just in case you didn't know that, like, one of the 2 guys in ICP was actually the lead singer of Boston.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, this guy's gonna have a good sense of humor about it.
Yeah.
It would have been great to get, Shaggy. I could pay $20 to just send him a text and be like, hey, man,
Please.
please, you want to be in the end video, but I'm not going to.
You could pay
$20 to send him one text.
Yeah,
It's
you
not-
could pay me $200 to do the cameo, and then you could also bribe me with additional money. It's like a microtransaction for getting a celebrity cameo.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can. That's how a lot of these like, if you have more money than you know what to do with, and you want to talk to a celebrity on Cameo, if they're there, a lot of them are like,
Send it to me.
You can text me for $20.
That too.
Send it to send it to Aesthetics Patreon.
Send it to haha.
Ha 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 ha. Yes.
Support me financially.
Yeah.
Give me money.
doesn't
I want
have
money
a
too.
Patreon.
I don't make content of any kind.
Yeah, just support me like a baby.
Yeah, like
Feed me.
I just
Turo will be homeless once he gets flunked out of college for writing chipmunk papers.
Yeah. Right? Oh my god. So the other project that we have to do in that class that we're doing right now is we have to do an essay. Well, not an essay, like a presentation, like a full 20-minute presentation on
Chipmunks.
On culturally relevant musicians and the genres that they were a part of.
I feel like you would
2002 to
actually make a
2017.
really interesting presentation about that.
Because our professor was regaling us with tales of interesting projects that we've done in the past that he's seen people do in the past. Like someone did a genuine not entirely unironically, both in the presentation and also in it being unironically good presentation on Nickelback. And because they showed some deeper cuts that weren't as bad as all the shit you've heard, and also
that's weird.
And also
if you listen to their albums, the stuff that's on their albums is actually not nearly as bad as the radio stuff.
Yeah, and then also of course all the people who cribbed on them who were much worse and showed that Nickelback were actually probably one of the better people in their genre, whether you like it or not, whether you like that genre or not.
Yeah.
But also the people behind me, the people in the group behind me. If anyone in my college class is hearing this, do not acknowledge this. But the people that I'm here, the people in the seats behind me, they're doing theirs on Kids Bop, and they went to the professor and can we do this on Kids Bop? And he was like, yeah, sure, but I'm gonna have to listen to them, so I have to
try to pick
because I'm going to be grading your paper, so I should also probably study up on them. And he started doing it in class because this was one of the few times that we actually weren't in a lecture. He normally lectures from bell to bell, but this was a time that he gave us 20 minutes to get in a group and discuss our project. But he was just listening to Kids Bop over the speakers, and every 2 songs or so, every other song, every 3 songs or so, he'd be like, "Oh my god, they did this song."
Yeah, I mean, that's basically what it's like when you look at a Kids Bop, an album listing, or...
Yeah.
Man, it's crazy.
But yeah, considering that there is a group that is actually going to do and has gotten permission to do Kids Bop, probably could have done Alvin and the Chipmunks for this project.
Thinking back on, I said if I go back to school, I want to write papers exclusively on Alvin and the Chipmunks, or maybe just cram them in. Yeah, how crazy would it be if, I was in a psych class and, one of the... I've got pretty much a guaranteed A. I don't actually have to turn in this assignment, so I'm like, okay, great. This is assuming they're very, very receptive to my Alvin and the Chipmunks papers. Then I write 2 papers for the final paper, and I just submit them both. And they're completely different papers, and they're both entirely about Alvin and the Chipmunks. And they're like, which one do you want me to grade? I'm like, grade either one. I just wrote an extra paper.
Yeah, I love the Chipmunks that
Yeah.
much.
I love the Chipmunks that much.
I love Alvin and the Chipmunks so much.
Yeah. My wife and I listen to Alvin and the Chipmunks every day, all the time.
Yeah.
I have their poster above my bed.
And when my kid grows up and is famous and they're like, what was growing up like? They were like, well, there was always music in my home. Well, that's what they mean. There was always
My
Alvin
son
and the
Alvin
Chipmunks.
Jr., which
Alvin Jr.,
my name
AJ.
isn't Alvin, but I named
Yeah.
him Alvin Jr.
Right.
Yeah.
Bob actually is going to enroll at this fictitious, college as Bob Seville.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
was thinking you're actually gonna change your school email, even though it's not your legal name, is gonna be Alvin 101 at
Yeah, it'll say
college.edu.
Yeah, it'll be Bob Seville 101 at, whatever.edu.
Yeah,
Okay, state.
yeah. Going to Oklahoma State. That's
Yeah, I live in Oklahoma.
Why not? Why not?
I'll go
That's a
there.
big
Don't
college.
diss public colleges
that's,
like that.
That's what the joke that I'm making is that that's a big college. I'm
Yeah.
thinking going to UT as well, as
Yeah.
Bob
I'm
Seville.
not going to some community college. I'm going to Oklahoma State as Bob Seville 101. That's my full name.
Oh no.
Not even just my email address. That's my freaking name, dude.
So, like, is your last name Seville 101, or is Bob Seville your first name and your last name is 101? Or is it all just
Seville
one
101
name?
is my
Yes.
last name.
Is it all just mononymous? Like, your username is just, like, your full
I
name?
expect people to call me by my full name.
It's all a joke until he'll be like, and then I'll start ironically writing fanfic as well in the Chipmunk section, and then that'll be like, it's too far, we gotta stage an intervention.
that's when we gotta stage the intervention.
Like, at a certain point, you're no longer being ironic. Like there's
You
no.
are just
like,
part of the Chipmunk hive
We
mind.
were okay with you changing your name.
I mean, that's
But
actually true, though. Like, when people do things ironically for a long, long time and then never do things unironically again, then you're just doing the thing.
I was only
Yeah.
pretending to be ironic.
Yeah.
I was only pretending
you know,
to be serious.
This last dip into the Chipmunk section was too much. It seeped its
Yeah.
black tendrils into our minds.
It's like
Yeah,
Final,
finally, we
final
are part of
Destination,
the-
but for chipmunks.
Yeah. You're gonna be excited by this final video because at the very end it just turns into a cutscene where we're sitting at our desks and then you see like black lines enter our eyes. It's like a horror movie.
We start like growing hair and shrinking
Yeah.
down to
2 feet
Whatever.
10 inches tall, just so you can hold a gun.
11. Yeah.
2 feet 11 inches tall so we can carry the
Yeah.
guns.
If you were 2 feet 10 inches, then you
Swear to
would be...
fuck.
Carry
these
the
kids-
AA-12 with a 250 round drum magazine.
When they said that, it was already absurd because I was imagining Alvin 2 feet 11 inches tall walking around with a pistol. But like they still gave him a gun that would be too big for a normal sized human
Yeah,
to wield.
once again, wrapping back around to it, like they try to set boundaries and art and distinctions or whatever, and then immediately, like, no rules.
Yeah, like what's the point of clarifying if at the end of it it still makes no
It's
fucking
gonna be
sense?
a gun that
Like,
is so
there's that
fucking-
one rule that I think I either learned this, like, it was genuine advice that I either learned from an SDC video, you guys, or just somewhere else, but
Did you just call us goys?
you guys, I misspoke. Jesus Christ.
a pair of Roy's for this more than whichever the one that was.
It's true, but weird that you specify.
But like this really important rule that I actually think about not just in like stories, but like in real life, like when I'm like making a bit or even just giving information, is that you shouldn't specify a value if you don't want people to look into it further and it's not important. Because once
Yeah.
you give a value, people will have that value in their heads and they will base everything related to that value like as if
On that piece of information, yeah.
if you say that your story is set in the past, people will fucking, I don't know, it's in the past. You just
They'll
don't have
figure it out, whatever.
like
yeah.
they don't
And
know.
they'll even forgive inconsistencies.
But if you,
You know,
say
but
your
if you say it's set in 1984,
or even if you say your story is takes place about 200 years ago, then as soon as you introduce something with like advanced electricity, people are gonna like just immediately be pulled out of your story. And that's just they do that a lot in the Chipmunk section for some reason. It's almost like
yeah.
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 Well, since this video's been one long advertisement for it, go to the Steel Donut, watch Chip 3, watch our earlier stuff as well. You know.
Have fun.
Yeah, have fun, and we'll see you next time on the Insetic channel in Skate 2.